Let's move on to our fourth main topic today. Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
Fourth topic is from Gerald Hickey. Greetings, John. I know these days Michael Bay gets a bit of a bad rap, but honestly, aside from his Transformers movies, I don't think he's that bad. Anyway, they just announced that it looks like he's directing a new action-heavy movie for Sony called Black 5. What do you think about this? How do you feel about Michael Bay?
You know what? Here's the thing about Michael Bay. Michael Bay is often the butt of a lot of jokes. Mm-hmm. And some of those jokes rightfully so.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Robot Chicken thing with Michael Bay?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. There's a Robot Chicken episode of Robot Chicken where they do the sketch where Michael Bay, where a bunch of the studio executives come to his house for a meeting, right? And they're all sitting around a board table and they're all in their suits. And Michael Bay comes walking down his stairs just in an open bathrobe with his dick hanging out. Only the thing is, and his butler standing there with his drink, and he can control his penis. So he's talking, "Hey guys," and then his penis goes into the martini and stirs a martini with it. He grabs it, takes a sip with. Like it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Look, Michael Bay gets a lot of grief for Transformers, and rightfully so. Other than the first Transformers movie, which I'll always be grateful to Michael Bay for, because I actually really like the very first Transformers movie a lot. All the other ones were crimes against nature that should be burned with fire. They're all the rest of them are just absolutely horrendously terrible. But because of that, Michael Bay gets painted with a very broad brush. That Michael Bay is like the worst director in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. But to me, I will always... Look, I hated what he did with Transformers. But he has made some films that I've quite enjoyed. I liked 13 Hours. I liked Pain and Gain. Mm-hmm. I really like Armageddon. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. I know a lot of people don't like Armageddon. That's a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I really like that. I freaking love The Rock. Mm-hmm. The Rock with Sean Connery and Nick Cage.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Love that movie. You know, listen, yes, Michael Bay's done a lot of crap, but he's done some good cinema too. Mm-hmm. So in principle, I don't mind the idea of checking out the newest Michael Bay movie. I don't know that it'll be good. I don't know if it'll be terrible, but I don't mind checking it out. Now, what's this thing about Black 5 they're talking about? This comes to us from Variety. Michael Bay is set to direct the upcoming film Black 5 as his next film, sources tell Variety. The project is an original idea by Michael Bay, who came up with, and insiders say Sony is also in talks to finance and distribute. So this is going to be a film he does with Sony. While no plot details were given, sources say the project is also being developed as a video game, which would make sense of doing it with Sony because now they've got that whole PlayStation division that they're doing things with. Though the film will come together first. Plot details are currently unknown, other than it being high on action. Really. Michael Bay film. High on action. Aaron Kruger penned the script. Okay. Before I go into why I don't mind this idea, I have one giant red flag here already.
Okay.
And that is that last sentence. Aaron Kruger has penned the script. I don't think I've liked a single thing Aaron Kruger has written. He has written the aforementioned Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon, and Transformers Age of Extinction, all of which I detest. He directed the recent Ghost in the Shell, which a lot of people did not like. He wrote the screenplay for the recent Disney live-action adaptation of Dumbo, which I thought fell flat on its giant oversized ears. He wrote Scream 3, which I never liked. He wrote Reindeer Games, which I didn't really dig. I will say this, though. He did write Arlington Road, and I don't mind Arlington Road.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's like... it's kind of like this like neighborhood discovers a terrorist plot sort of thing. So I don't mind Arlington Road all that much. He also wrote the North American version of Rings, which I don't mind too terribly much. But he also wrote Blood and Chocolate, which turned out being very disappointing. He wrote Skeleton Key, which was really disappointing.
Ooh.
I just don't... I'm reading Aaron Kruger penned the script, like, okay, Black Aaron Kruger has the script. And you know, that doesn't mean he can't turn in something great.
Yeah.
He absolutely could. But let's get off Aaron Kruger. Let's get off Aaron Kruger for a second and just go back to the Michael Bayism of all this. Mm-hmm. I don't mind the idea of a high action concept script with an original idea by Michael Bay. Yes, the Transformers stuff sucks, but he's done a number of other things that I thought were pretty good. So to me, it's a bit of a coin toss, and I'll take a coin toss.
Yeah.
I'll take a coin toss. A coin toss isn't the worst thing in the world. So I'm going to go into this Michael Bay movie, and I think there's a 50-50 chance I'm going to have either a really good time, or I'm going to be bitching and moaning and complaining about the next Michael Bay movie, whatever, but I'll take it. I'll take the coin toss. The argument here is simply that I think it's at least a coin toss. I don't think it's the already foregone conclusion it's going to be horrible because it's Michael Bay. I just think he's done too much good stuff for that to hold water. Yes, the Transformers stuff is abysmal, but I think there's enough there to appreciate.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have my optimism for Michael Bay, or are you one of the many people who are like, if it's Michael Bay, I take a pass?
I actually share your enthusiasm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't mind Michael Bay. I'm going to get so much hate in the comments. I don't mind the Ninja Turtles movies that he did.
I'll tell you what. Oh, now, granted, he didn't direct them. He just
produced them.
That first one, I talked about for a year of its development that movie was going to suck and it's going to be terrible. And then I saw that first one. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty good. The second one with Stephen Amell, I didn't like that much. But that first one I actually thought was quite good.
I thought it was fun. And his movies, even if they're really crappy, they are still fun. I still get to see explosions. I don't mind that. And sure, his sets are made out of balsa wood and sparklers, and there's not a lot of substance to what he's doing sometimes. But it's a fun time. So having an original action movie, I'm going to tune into it. I'm going to go sit in the theater and watch that. And like you're saying, it might be really bad, but it could be really good. And he's still, guys, if you haven't seen The Rock, oh my God, that movie is so good.
So much fun.
That it's incredible. And
a cast. It's not just like Sean Connery and Nick Cage, but when you go through the cast as well, it's a dynamite cast. I'm going to see if you can guess. Now, I've said it on the show before. I don't think you were here. I'm going to see if you can guess what my favorite line from that movie is. And it's one of my probably top 20 favorite lines from movies of all time.
Oh, no.
I'll give you a hint. It's a line from Sean Connery.
I'm trying to think of anything right now.
Here it is.
My brain is just mush.
Here it is. And it's not something anybody else on the planet can get away with saying, but Sean Connery can say it. Nicolas Cage says he's going to do his best. You know, Sean Connery's trying to get Nick Cage to go do something. He says his best. And Sean Connery says, your best. Was it? Losers whine about their best, while winners go home and fuck the prom queen. And only Sean Connery can say that. Absolutely adore that. And yes, Michael Bay did that. And if you haven't seen that Michael Bay movie, go see that Michael Bay movie.
I'm going to rewatch that today.
It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, guys, question is, what do you think about that? Now, I'm sure a lot of you probably, Michael Bay directing, you get that. We're now kind of wired to have an instant recoil to that. But really, when you think about, what do you think about the sounds of this? Do you think it's doomed from the beginning, or do you think it has possibilities like I do? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.